before any Tennessee fans get mad and start raging or retard typing in the comment section, you might want to hear what I have to say here. Now, this is a perfect opportunity, would be a perfect opportunity to get on here and laugh at Tennessee and their fans and Nico and the big mess that, oh my God, they paid him $8 million. Now he wants to renegotiate. Blah, 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 blah. And there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of people doing that. And this would be a perfect opportunity for me to do that as well. However, I'm going to tell you what I really think here. I think this probably happens a lot with a lot of players. Why we're hearing about it or why it's... Look, when news like this comes out, and I'm always a skeptic on things anyway, I guess, but when something like this comes out, the first thing that goes through my head is, okay, which side leaked this? Was it Nico's side or was it the Tennessee side? Like, I don't think some reporter just did some kind of, Pulitzer Prize award-winning investigative journalism and uncovered this little nugget. Somebody leaked this. So look, yeah, all the jokes about Nico, I'm about to leave you, that we've been doing that. I don't think that's what's happening here. Now, if I'm wrong, then I will make a video laughing and everything about it with the Tennessee fans. And oh my God, this guy's, they thought he was winning 19 Heismans and now he gave them one of these. If that ends up really being what's going on here, then I'll come on and do one of those types of videos. But this is the world we're living in today in college football. None of us like this, and we've all talked about it in different ways, whether it has something to do with our team or a player somewhere else, or like some of these players that have transferred 3 and 4 times, or, these ridiculous amounts of money that some people are getting before they're ever playing it down. And I'm not here to take up for Nico. If this all started because Nico or people in Nico's camp went to Tennessee and said, hey, we need more money or something, that's obviously ridiculous. But I'm not going to just jump on, this is the story we're hearing about, but this is happening all over the place. For all I know, Tennessee went to Nico and said, hey, turns out you're not worth that $8 million we promised you, so we're going to we want to give you a little less. I don't know. I have no idea. Do I think, was it completely ridiculous for Tennessee to give Nico $8 million coming out of high school for every play? Now, yes, of course. It was insane. It was lunacy. Some might even say it was retarded. But, Nico's not the only player that's been given this kind of money over the last few years. So yeah, I think that's ridiculous that he was given that type of money. Do I think it's ridiculous if he's now demanding more? Do I think that's ridiculous? Yeah, because he didn't do it. He didn't do enough last year to justify an $8 million deal, a $2 million a year deal, if that's how it breaks down. Whatever. I don't know. None of us know the details on that Nico thing. We only know what we heard when all that shit happened. We heard $8 million. If that's true, I'm assuming it's basically a $2 million a year deal as long as he stays at Tennessee. So he's already earned $4 million. He'd be set to earn another $2 million this year. Now, maybe it's the case that his agent is looking around and finding out that other starting quarterbacks in the SEC maybe are making more than $2 million now. And so he thinks Nico should get more now. But hey, you shouldn't have signed the deal 4 fucking years ago to him. Maybe you shouldn't have signed the deal when the kid was still in high school. He should have waited. So I don't know. I don't, like I said, none of us know. But this kind of, look, this stuff is going on all over the place. I don't like it. The majority of you watching don't like it. I'm not against the players getting paid, but look, here's the bottom line. These players are going to become employees. And as much as the majority of the college football fan base has hated the idea of that from the beginning of time, it's the only solution to an entire host of problems that exist in college football right now, from salary caps to how much money players are getting paid, to which players get paid which amounts of money, to where the money comes from, who pays it, the schools, the boosters, the fake NIL collectives. What about if it's a real NIL deal? How do you regulate that? What about transfers? They're never ending. You sign an $8 million deal to come to a school, in this case, Nico to Tennessee. Now you're basically blackmailing them for more, or you're going to leave. And again, I don't know that that's the case. For all I know, Tennessee went to Nico and said, hey, we got to pay you less so that we can pay this wide receiver for you to throw the ball to. I don't know. I have no idea. So this is not an anti-Tennessee video, and if that's not apparent to you by this point in the video, well, then you're definitely a Tennessee fan because you're mentally retarded. But so this is going on all over the place. And until these players, look, there's a reason the NFL operates the way it does. And I'm not here to prop up the NFL. I know we're college football fans for a reason, and most of us prefer college over the NFL for a reason. I understand that. But what I'm saying is the NFL is allowed to restrict players in a way that the college system right now is not. And the reason the NFL is able to restrict those players is because they are employees, they are unionized, and they collectively bargain. That's why. The way, just from a general point of view, the way the NFL and the teams treat players is illegal. It is against the law. In other words, you can't tell some random owner, take the salary cap, for example. It would be against the law for the government to tell Chick-fil-A, you could only pay your employees $500,000 total per restaurant. You can't pay them any more than that. That would be illegal. You can't tell a business owner how much they're allowed to pay their employees. But the NFL does. They tell the teams you can only spend this much money. That's it. You got to divide that up amongst all your players. Figure it out. Technically, that's illegal. They're allowed to get away with it because Congress has carved out a loophole for them because the players are employees, unionized, and have collective bargaining power. That's why a player who's with the Falcons can't just up and leave 1 year into a 3-year deal. Can't do that. In college, you can. In college, if you're Nico or anyone else, you can sign an $8 million deal with Tennessee as a senior in high school, and then after 2 years there, leave if you want. Or go, give me more money, or I'm leaving. Or the school can say, we're going to give you less. None of those problems are getting solved until the situation around paying players and them being employees gets resolved. So that's kind of the end game. We've talked about this before. That's where things are headed. How long is it going to take to get there? I don't know. But in the meantime, you're going to have stuff like this like you're having right now with Nico. You're going to have that. And again, is it a little strange to me that this gets leaked about Nico? Yeah. Would I love to know who leaked it? Yeah. Was it? Well, I can tell you this. Whoever leaked it is the party that's upset here. You know, if Tennessee went to Nico and said, we need to renegotiate that $8 million deal. We got to pay all the players $20 million this year. We need money to move around to other players. We're going to have to renegotiate. And Nico and his agents or whatever aren't happy with that, then Nico's people leaked this story. If Nico went to Tennessee and said, hey, I'm out here looking around at spring practice, and besides me at quarterback, you ain't got dog shit. If that's what happened, and Nico said, I think you need to pay me more, or I might go, then I think somebody from Tennessee probably leaked it, but I don't know. But I'm not on here to jump on Tennessee about it because this is happening everywhere. This is happening everywhere, and we just don't hear about it all the time, or we don't hear about it until after the fact, right? Caleb Downs last year at Alabama. I mean, I don't know what happened there. Did he go to Alabama and did he give Alabama an opportunity to pay him what Ohio State was going to wait? We don't know. I don't know. Because the story, they didn't come out ahead of time. So you just don't know. And I'm just using him as an example. Again, I'm not calling out Ohio State or Alabama. These are the times we're in right now. Again, there's nothing illegal or against the rules about what Ohio State it did to go get Caleb Downs. Nothing. That's the world we live in college football now. So It would have been funny to come on here. It's been a while since I just came on Laugh Tennessee, but look, even Tennessee fans have to admit, it is kind of funny because there's been the whole Nico, I'm about to leave you joke for a long time that always, he ain't gonna stick it out with Tennessee, blah, blah, blah. And now, story out today, renegotiating his deal or might be eyeing the transfer portal. I don't know. Look, I look at this stuff now. When I see a story like that, again, I'm a cynic. I'm a skeptic with this kind of thing. I see a story like that. It's the same thing with for those of you that do follow the NFL at all, it's the same thing with the NFL draft, right? Some story will come out 2-3 weeks, a month before the draft, right? About how, turns out nobody wants this player. So whatever, fill in the blank player. No team wants him. His hands aren't big enough, whatever. It's all fake stories. It's some team that does want him putting out bad information about him so that other teams won't go get it. So I don't trust anything. I don't trust anything I hear about that kind of shit. So I don't know. Would have been fun to come on here and laugh at Tennessee, but the reality is this kind of thing's going on everywhere now. And you come on here and laugh at Nico. Who knows? Next week it might be your team's quarterback. You see the headline about. Anyway. Whether Nico stays, goes, gets more money, gets less money, whatever the case, I mean, in the end, the bottom line is exactly the same, which is Tennessee ain't winning shit. They ain't won shit since last century. Tennessee hasn't even won their conference since last century, people. They're not one Nico away from whatever, okay? So it doesn't matter with or without Nico, 1998 forever.